Hello everybody and welcome to the PAH Project's video on how to trace, copy, paste, cut, illustrate, use the magnifying tool. Super resourceful. Oftentimes the case is a student will get an assignment where they have to illustrate and their response is, I can't draw. I can draw stick figures, and they get discouraged, they shut down. This process with the iPad and Notability will circumvent that. It has a really cool illustration function to it where you don't have to worry about not being able to draw. You can draw okay images now. So what we're going to do is open up a canvas here. We're going to get our tool to be a very fine pin. And what we're going to do is pull in a picture from a third-party website or from your camera roll. And you'd have to probably do the research to find the picture you want to draw. Say you're illustrating idioms, or you get an assignment for science class. Maybe it's the subspecies of trout. Your teacher wants you to draw the subspecies of trout. Well, here we go. We'll do that one right now. We'll click the plus button in the top right. Go to photos. I'll click a trout that I have already pre-slugged in here. It'll insert the photo for me right here. I can move it to wherever I want to move it. Now it's pretty small right there, so what we're going to want to do is use the magnifying tool in the bottom right corner. If we tap the magnifying tool, you will see that you can drag this all over at the very bottom. You can really get in to those fine points of said trout. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start going around the trout and doing the outline of the trout. As I outline it, I don't have to be super on top of it. Just make sure you're getting the main points. So my trout is outlined. There we go. Now what we're going to do now is we're going to take this little drawing that I've made and we're going to cut it and then paste it on the canvas. So using the cutting tool in the top right, it's highlighted right up top there. You see it's colored. So you hit it and it's colored. I'm going to circle it, connect the sides. So now it's connected. It's connecting and letting me know that I can take what I just drew and put it somewhere else on this canvas. Tap the screen one time and this will pop open. Click the cut button. And once you hit the cut button, what you're going to do is go anywhere on your canvas, preferably away from the actual picture itself, and paste it. And there you have your outline of your trout. Now what I always like to do is I like to move that trout or the picture over in the corner so it doesn't get in the way of my drawing. And then again what I'll do is to move the trout again here that I drew, you're going to have to use the cut tool. And then once you use the cut tool, you can select it and move it around. So there I have it. There's my trout. Now I can make it bigger if I want by pinching it. And then I can start adding in, if I want to, the colors and stuff of the trout. I like to use, when I do color, I like to use the highlighter because the highlighter itself gives us layers. So here, what we're going to do here is color in our trout. Give it some color up and around. Again, I'm just doing this really fast. I would spend a little more time on it if I wasn't doing the tutorial. So then students can do this too. And again, if I want to get to the fine points of this as well, what I could do is really get into these lines here on it around the edges, and that you can give it a really fine illustration. So back to filling this in. It's going to fill in my trout. So I have the basics there, and then I can do the back. The layers of the back here. I can also start putting in, if I wanted to, the dots of the trout. Probably hear that. You want to put the red belly in there for sure. You also want to give it some variation too on the bottom here. Give it a little bit of brown because it is brown right down there in the bottom. And again, this is just a shotgun way of doing this really quick. A little brown in there as well. You can bring the black in if you want. And there you have it. That's how you do an illustration off of a picture. Again, you trace it, and then you can fill it in. Again, using the magnifying tool, you can really get into the fine points of your illustration too as well. Again, this is just very brief. Normally I'd spend a little bit more time on this, but this gives you just an understanding of how this works. And again, if you want to get rid of this now, you just delete it. And to move your trout again, you move it up, make it bigger, make it smaller. And then you can also add, if you wanted to, you know, stylize it as well, the rainbow trout. Alrighty, that's how you do it, guys. Check us out at PAHproject.com.